You're listening to Her Confidence Her Way podcast, episode 160. Welcome to Her Confidence Her Way podcast, a place to talk about leveling up your work life, creating meaningful work, and living the life that you always wanted. Hey girlfriends, I am your host, Emiko Rasmussen. 15 plus years of corporate career woman turned into an entrepreneur who now coaches hundreds of Japanese career-minded women, helping them to unlock their potentials and build unshakable self-confidence. I will tell you the truth. It isn't an easy journey. I mean, if it is that easy, then everyone is living their dream life already. If you're ready to do the work, let's hang out right here, right now. Hey girlfriends, how are you doing? And thank you so much for listening to Her Confidence Her Way podcast. I am so thankful that you're here with me today. 皆さんこんにちは。Her Confidence Her Way podcast を聞いてくれてどうもありがとうございます。いろんなポッドキャストがある中で、このポッドキャストを聞いてくれているということは、You are choosing to listen to this, so I just cannot thank enough. 本当にどうもどうもありがとうございます。Before we move on to the main topic, I want to do a quick listener shout out. Today's listener shout out goes to みかこさんです。みかこさん、thank you so much for doing what you're doing because I know it is hard, right? It's busy and every day it's busy and things are changing and I get it, but you haven't given up yet. You haven't quit. So that's a good thing. みかこさんは私の現在のプログラムで自分のワークライフのマインドセットだったりとか働き方についての見直しをしています。そして、忙しいお仕事をしながら自分の時間を作ってもう本当に少しでもいいのでそこを諦めずに前に向かって進んでいるっていうそこが本当に素敵だなっていうふうに思います。So don't quit, don't give up because that is the part, that is the hardest part, right? So many people just quit because, oh, this is too hard. Oh, I don't have a time and I'm just gonna quit. No. Anything, even if it's a snail pace, if you are improving, that's a win. So you have to be able to shift that mindset and say, you know what? I'm okay with the way how I am because I'm not her. She's living her own way and I'm gonna live my own way and it's okay. Right? So Mikako-san, I am so excited that you are still working on your journal and you are changing little by little and that is super important. So great job. And I want everyone to remember or remind yourself, this is a good reminder for everyone. There's no such a thing called overnight success. There's going to be a lot of work, not necessarily a busy work, but hard work. I always talk about hard work. You gotta be willing to do the hard work. What are you willing to pay to get the result that you want? I'm not talking about paying for the easy result. I'm talking about what is the price are you willing to pay? That is my question. You could possibly hire someone to get your work done, then that's one way, right? Delegating. But the actual result, whatever the things that you want for your dream, for your goals or whatever, you can't hire it out. You can hire something that you don't have to do, but some of the work has to come from you. And I hope that makes sense to you. If you try one time and it doesn't work, that doesn't mean that you have to give up. That means that you may have to shift a little bit and try again. And actually, I don't like the word try. So shift a little bit and do it again. Yeah. Doing and trying is two different things. Okay? And today's guest, it's going to be an example of persistent and doing the hard work. before I introduce her, I would like to do a quick announcement. 6月の25日、26日、27日、これはカリフォルニアの時間です。の8時ですね。夜の8時の3日間。日本だと金曜日、金土日、26th, 27th, and 28th の12時、お昼の12時です。3日間にわたって、work like 働き、work like? Did I say work like? work life 働き方、生き方の改革ワークショップを行います。で、これは、以前やっていた、ワークショップのただ単に名前が変わっているだけで、以前に参加している方は、中身はほぼ一緒です。But it's all about work, life. 働き方と生き方についての見直し、働き方の改革ですね。本当にそれをやります。なので、今の働き方とか生き方にすごくもやもやして、で、今後、何をしたいのかわからない人。これからサイドビジネスとかやりたいんだけど、結局、何をビジネスアイデアとして始めたらいいかとか、もやもやしている人いると思うんですね。で、その方たちのために、passion and purpose 本当にパッションと purpose 生きている存在意義とかどうして自分がこの世の中に存在しているのかっていうことを考えてみたりとかあとは強みを使ったりとか価値観働き方に対しての価値観っていうのは何なのかっていうことを見直し考え直しするワークショップです。で、それが1日目で2日目にポジティブマインセットだったり、あと自分にとっての I'm enough と思える自信のつけ方についてのお話。そして3日目には、直接皆さんからいただいた、質問ですね。それに対して直接私が一人一人に答えをお答えするっていう感じの Q&A セッションを行います。で、その時には私の受講生も招待して一緒にどんな不安があったか、そしてプログラムを取ったらどんなことが変わったかっていうようなお話とかもします。この、募集とか登録はすでにニュースレターを登録している方にはもう公式ニュースレターで、募集の方が来ているのでそちらから、登録できます。または Her Confidence Her Way のコミュニティのグループでも、登録のリンクもシェアしていますし、あとは Instagram のバイオリンクの方からもワークショップの参加ができます。登録ができます。で、このワークショップはどういうものかっていうと、Facebook のコミュニティのグループで3日間私がライブで配信します。で、もちろんライブで見れなかったらリプレイが見れるので、この時間が合わないと思ってもリプレイがキャッチできるので、登録の方してください。Okay, that is all, and let me introduce today's guest.Today's guest 今日のインタビューは英語になります。今日のゲストはしずのさんという方で、日本で生まれたんですけれども、ほとんどもアメリカで育っているので、彼女にとっての、the native language, I guess, it is English, so we decided to do an interview in English. But we talked about how she built confidence as a musician, and we have also talked about her business the startup she's starting. That's really cool concept and I really like that. And we have also talked about how she became a musician and all that. So please enjoy my conversation with Shizuno. Hello, Shizuno. Welcome to Her Confidence Her Way podcast. I am super excited to have you today. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited to be here with you as well.
Yeah, so we're just kind of talking about this crazy weather. I'm talking about my weather here in Temecula, SoCal. And you're in Boston, right?
Yes.
How's everything? I mean, we're in this corona.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's everything? How are you doing? How are you holding up?
Yeah, so there's definitely been some stress, like more of the financially in Boston, just because it's a very gig economy here, especially because there's so many students. So there's a lot of babysitting that I do related to my job. A lot of us work at restaurants. And since most of our customers are either tourists or students that go to college here, COVID-19 really did take a big hit on all of us.
Yeah. Definitely, I totally get it. I mean, my husband too. He works in the entertainment industry as well. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so they had to lay everyone off on the one
Yeah.
day. It was over 5,000 people.
Wow. That is a
Hmm.
lot.
Crazy. Yeah. So, yeah, we're all together. We're in
Yeah.
this together. Definitely, for sure. Yeah,
Mm.
and with even though, definitely financial hardship is really tough. But it sounds like you are doing something really, really amazing, and I wanted to bring you to the show and just share with the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, financially, it's been crazy, but it's been really good to know that there are still families out here in Boston that still need lessons and that still need experience that we've been providing. So my fulfillment has been very fulfilled.
That is
And
great to hear for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then, why don't you tell us who you are and where you're from, well, I mentioned where you live right now, but what you do?
hmm Yeah, so I'm Japanese. I was born in Japan, but grew up in Miami, Florida since I was 6 months old. So English is more of my like native speaking language, but technically Japanese is my first language. Um, I can speak both Japanese and English fluently, because I speak Japanese with my family. But yeah, definitely English is a lot easier for me because my friends are all English speaking. My business is English. So yeah. But I moved to Boston 6 years ago in 2014 to attend Berklee College of Music. And that's when and then my last semester of Berkeley is when I decided to start my own company called Echo Kids, which I'll talk about more later. Yeah. So I play piano, and piano has always been there for me, and I consider it my third language because whenever I would have any cultural differences, which I really felt a lot with, considering like my mom would pack me like onigiri and stuff like that for and all my friends would be like, "What is that? Like, that's so cool." But I've always felt like I was always like, I want peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Aw.
Right.
It's so funny you mentioned because now I am that position. I'm a mom of two,
Mm,
and I'm not really good at cooking. I mean, to be frank, I don't like to cook at all. So I can't do those little cute, like a character bento or anything like that. So I am not that type of person at all.
mhm.
And I read a book about how this little bunny, it's for like little kids, and it was about the cultural awareness type of book. And they were talking about how this little bunny, I forget what her name was, like it's something with like Hanako or something like that, right? And she brought her Japanese bento box, and she had onigiri with seaweed,
Mhm.
and all the other friends, animal friends, they were calling her like, "Ew," like, "I can't believe you eat this," and blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, it's a story actually about it. So ever since I read that with kids, I'm like, uh. I'm just gonna stick with the American lunch.
That's good. Yeah, because my mom never understood that. And I would always tell her, like, please stop making me rice balls. Like, I know she's making it out of love and like she wants to
Right.
do that because that's what she's used to. But she didn't understand that that was such a big barrier for me in making my friends because my friends would be like, oh, what is that? Ew, that doesn't look normal, right? Because they
Exactly.
have never seen it.
Yeah, and obviously it's unfortunate, and it's
Yeah,
not your fault. It's them. They're just ignorant.
exactly.
Yeah, but it can be very hard, especially when you're in like elementary or even middle high school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's like the hardest. I think I've had like, several guests who are born in Japan but then grew up in the States, and they did mention about how when they're in teenager, they kind of did have the little bit of what's the word that I'm looking for? Like a little stepped out from the Asianness, and they just
Mm,
wanted to blend with the
yeah.
majority, or yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely went through that too. So that's why I'm super glad that I had music with me always because music was just such a universal language for me always. Like I started learning piano with a Japanese teacher. So that was kind of refreshing because that was the only other person that I would speak Japanese to other than my family. And so that was something that connected me from my family, the teacher, and also like performing at like schools and stuff like that, that served as more of a bridge, if anything.
I see. And you mentioned about your family, and I do. I'm kind of reading your bio, and you have mentioned that your father was a musician.
Yes, yeah, he used to be a guitar player in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
specifically rock.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That
So
is so cool. So, is that what you, or is that who you influenced the most to
I,
become a musician?
I've never really seen him perform,
Mm.
but because he was a musician, there were a lot of music when I was growing up. So guitars, drums, piano was everywhere in my house. But apparently, the only instrument that I was really interested in was piano. So I was lucky in that sense that they were able to find what I wanted to do really early on.
Wow. Is How often did you practice? Was it very strict?
Up until probably like fifth, fourth grade, I never really practiced that much.
Mm.
Um, Even then, like I didn't practice that much, but because I liked piano, I would go sit in the piano and play around for 15 minutes. And if I had a song that I was learning that I was really interested in, then I would be like, okay, I know it's really hard now, but I know tomorrow is going to be easier, so let's just get it done, kind of.
Wow. And I'm curious. So there are so many people. I mean, you have you watched a TV show called American Idol, or America's Got Talent, all those shows, right? And everybody thinks that they can sing, or everybody thinks that they're so talented. But would you happen to know, how do you really know if you're really gifted in this department?
I never really thought I was like the best piano player. I never wanted to be a pianist. I didn't even know about Berkeley until I really auditioned.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, the reason I thought that maybe I had something with piano was because anytime I would have a performance,
Mm.
um, people would come up to me and be like, "That was really heartfelt," or they felt some kind of emotion after listening,
Mm.
and I was like, oh, that's so cool that I've met someone. I mean, I didn't even meet this person, and I was able to move them emotionally. So I thought that was really special, but I didn't really take that for granted, or I didn't understand it for a long time.
I see. It's kind of embarrassing to tell you this, but when I hear piano, maybe I've never seen this amazing pianist or whatnot, but I've never really felt people with emotion. Is it bad?
Yeah, no, I understand.
It's so sad to say it, but when you said it, like, I would love to hear you playing piano. Maybe if you have a YouTube or something, just send me the link. But
Thank you, thank you. The only things I play now are kids songs, but
hey, you know what? That's important too. Definitely for sure. And you mentioned, you play piano on the stage as well. So
Mhm.
I'm assuming you have attended like competitions, you competed,
Yes.
and yeah, how is that, like the whole experience, when you once you become a, I guess, not necessarily the professional, but someone who would compete against someone,
Hmm.
that's a whole different story rather
Yeah,
than just to really enjoy playing the piano, right? And
right.
you compete, meaning you will won several awards, and if you don't, is that like, do you want to give up? Like, how did you feel with all those stage confidence and everything?
Yeah, well, I definitely had major stage fright.
Mm.
Every single time I had a competition or any kind of performance, I would always be shaking. My hands and my toes would get really, really cold. And I just always hated the competitions. But my music teacher at the time was. She was Russian and she was really used to the idea of competitions back in her home.
Mm.
So when I changed to her from my Japanese teacher when I was a little bit older and I was able to actually perform and compete on stage, she really encouraged me because that was the way for me to grow. Because that way I could measure my growth, basically.
Mm.
And so we started doing that. And in the beginning, I really didn't like it. But then I started becoming a little more competitive, I guess, because I remember when I got second place in something.
Mm-hmm.
started crying because I had given it my all, or I thought I had, but I was only second place. And
Oh.
from there, I was just like, I need to work harder to be first place, and that just kind of ignited the fire in me. But even then, like I still had my stage fright, and the only thing that really stopped me from having stage fright was when I entered this competition. I won, and I was one of the honorary performance members. So we had like we basically had a recital showcasing people that won the scholarship thing. And I was so nervous for some reason. I don't even know why I was nervous because I wasn't being judged anymore. It was really just to have fun.
Yes.
And to perform why I had won the scholarship. But this girl after me, that was performing after me, stopped me, and because she saw me shaking. And she was like, don't perform for anyone, you know, you're really performing for yourself, and all you have to do is go out there and have fun. And I just stopped and was like, wow, that's actually so true. Like, even when I'm in a competition, I'm not performing to make sure that they know that I'm a great piano performer or anything like that, because as long as I know and I believe that of myself, then that's who I am, and that's all that really matters. And I take that logic now in my business, in my life, and I really think that performing in competitions and things like that doesn't have to be about getting the first place or anything like that. It's just more about understanding who you are and trying to be the best of yourself.
Ooh, I love this. So good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, my girls are just being competitive each other.
Yeah, yep.
And they always, I mean, I'm talking about they're playing like a Super Mario or something like that. But of course, there's a little healthy competition, right? Or friendly competition. And they're like, oh, I'm the first place and second place and blah, blah. And I'm like, I just tell them, it doesn't matter. You're having fun. You're enjoying the time. And
Exactly.
that is the most important thing. But yeah. You know, when you were speaking about this thing, it kind of reminded me of this Japanese. I don't watch anime, but my husband does. And I don't know if you've heard of this anime. It's called, shoot, it's something to do with, it's like a pianist. Do you know which one I'm talking about? It's like about Mori no Naka no something something.
Oh, yes, it's on my watch list on Netflix. It's called Forest something.
Yes. I just remember about the forest, the Mori no Naka no. Yeah, but so there's one a pianist. He's always playing perfect, right? And then he would be competing in Japan. And then there's another boy. He plays, like you kind of said it earlier, plays with his heart, right? And he ended up going to the United States or something because the way how he plays is amazing. But then there's no way for the judges to evaluate because he is not following it's something like that. And I thought that it was very interesting to watch just because it's the way how people evaluate based on the book Bible, pretty much, right? It's like you have to play this way, you have to play with this pace, versus the other boy, he pretty much learned in the States or something like that. His performance is really good, and he wows everybody, but he's out of the everything, out of ordinary.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but that sounds great. I mean, I wanted to see it, so thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you're a musician, you should definitely watch that, especially a pianist. It's kind of interesting to watch. But anyways, you have mentioned about what you do now. It's the Echo Kids. How did you... Well, tell us about like what you actually do first, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so Echo Kids is a music education company. We're based in Boston right now, but we'll be expanding into New York in July. And what we do is basically connect currently Berklee students with families and libraries, daycares, community groups, anything, you name it. Looking for any musical experience for specifically kids ages 0 to 12. So we do group lessons, private lessons. We even do like birthday parties, since we're a startup, we're kind of open to anything, and our mission is more of bringing music to families. So just like how I've been saying that I was really, really lucky in finding music at an early age, specifically piano, just because of my dad, and I had the Japanese teacher, and I felt really connected to it. I think music has really shaped me. I mean, obviously. And I think music shapes people for the better. I like even entering the competitions, right? Like the whole experience and stuff like that. So I just wanted to give that opportunity to as many families as possible. And so I had been teaching private piano lessons to kids, but I never really thought of like creating a company per se. And it only occurred to me because of a music business class project during my last semester at Berkeley, where we had to create a business idea that could potentially turn into reality. So since I had been teaching private piano, I was like, well, why don't we just expand that and make it into private music lessons? So it could be piano, saxophone, guitar, anything, and just connect Berkeley students just like me with families looking for whatever instrument teachers for their kids.
That's really nice because I don't know about the other states, but here in California, especially with my kids' school district, they don't really have music lessons or anything.
Interesting.
Budget cut. Yeah. We don't get any of those. Those are something that we have to pay extra for it. Like if my kids wants to learn how to play piano, then I would have to pay for it as part of like naraigoto type of thing. You would not learn that at school.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. So that's why we wanted to be affordable because we realized that many families aren't able to find the perfect mentor or find the perfect teacher, especially if they're just little, right? So our goal is more to be of like their first musical experience that they want to continue, and that something that the families are more of like, I see the benefit in this for my kids. Like I want them to have this skill for the rest of their and not be like a crazy financial burden. So it's more like a Netflix subscription, but for kids.
Oh, how fun! Wow, I really love that. And then you're using your talent, your experience, and of course the education that you have earned from a college. This is perfect. And I remember when we initially had a conversation, you had sent me an email, and I thought that it was very interesting. And if you don't mind me mentioning, you have mentioned about your age.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember, but in the email you said, well, I'm only, this how that is, how young that is, and blah, blah, blah. Is it okay for me to come onto the show? So I'm wondering, do you think the age really matter, or not matter, but do you think the age has became like your hurdle as a startup? You were the founder, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely, because especially when I started, I really didn't know anything about starting a business because that wasn't the major that I decided at school. I never really dreamt of starting my company. So I went to a lot of workshops, seminars, and things like that, networking events, and every single person that was there were far older than me. And most of them weren't females as well. And so being a female young entrepreneur who also happened to be Asian, I was just like, wow, we have a lot of hurdle to jump over. But I do also think that it is an advantage for me being younger now because I don't have that many commitments to things. So I don't have to worry about raising kids or paying my mortgage and things like that.
Right.
So I get to explore and try out things, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, and that's okay. But being young is definitely a disadvantage in just going into events and things like that, because they automatically are like, oh, you're younger, you don't have the experience.
I get it. Yeah. And I think it plays a lot of areas too. For example, as an Asian woman, I guess especially, we look younger than actual age.
Right.
So many people think that I am still in 20s or something. Thank goodness. But I am not. So,
Mm-hmm.
and my husband, he is half Korean. Or is he half? Yes, he is half. Sorry, half Korean. So he has the Asian part of it too, and he does have the baby face. So when we got married, I'm talking about a long time ago, but when we got married, and we wouldn't want to, we wanted to buy, like for example, furniture.
Mm-hmm.
We would walk into the store, furniture store, because people work on commission. They don't want to help us. They just go to the older couples because they think that they have money, right?
I
They
see.
think that we're young, that we don't have enough money to buy, or
Right.
we're not going to buy the high ticket items.
Mm-hmm.
And well, at the end, we're the one who's buying, and the
Right.
older couples they left. But so the age actually doesn't matter, kind of. And in a sense, people judge. That's
Yeah.
where I was going for. People will judge no matter what, especially with age. But also, ourselves, we also worry so much internally too. Right?
Mm.
You were talking about how young you are, but I mean, sometimes being young, it's really good because they have less experience, so that means they're open to new things, or they
Yeah.
can think from the like outside a box,
For
right?
sure. For sure.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that older people as well, they worry about the age. Oh, I am too old. I am too
Mm.
old to do this. So I feel like in wherever how old or how young we are, I think we all struggle with this number.
That's true. There's
Yeah.
definitely a good number.
Yeah, I really do not know what is the best number to become like, okay, I am this old and I am confident and I can go. So I kind of wanted to just talk about it because I know many of my listeners, they do worry about their age being too
Mm.
old or too young to start something new.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So do you have any advice on that part? I know you kind of mentioned a little bit, but is there something that you want to share with our my listener, our
Yeah,
listeners?
I mean,
Yeah.
if it's just regarding age, I think you're right. Age really doesn't matter. It's just more of how confident can you be? If you're young, you would have to face the older people that kind of look down on you, just early on without even knowing you, because that's what they know, and they just expect you to have less experience than them. But that doesn't mean that you actually do. So. I think it's just about the confidence.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for all of the good stories that you shared, and you mentioned about confidence. And now it is time for me to ask you some her confidence her way power questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so the first question is exactly what you just said. How would you define your own self confidence, and how are you building your own?
Yeah, so for me, my self-confidence just comes from how much I'm working. So, for example, I mean, it goes back to like performing, but I know that if I practice a lot and I know the song really well, no matter how nervous I get, when I get to the recital, I'm confident that I know this song from like with my eyes closed, I know it all. But if I didn't practice it enough, then I know somewhere in the back of my head that I might not do as well as I could have done if I practiced, right? So I just take that logic back into my life and I say, if I'm only confident in the work that I do now, which is Echo Kids, because of the amount of work I spend on it. Like, it's literally become my personal life.
Yeah.
So that's why I know it works and I want to spread it to the world as fast as I can because I really do feel like it's my duty.
Yeah.
But I can only believe in that because I see the work I put it in.
I love it. So many people just think that everything is overnight success.
Yeah.
And I have talked about it in a different episode, but hard work is required.
Yeah.
You can't just hope that your dream is going to come true and not actually doing the work.
Exactly.
Hello.
Yeah, I did. So there's this book called The Secret. I don't know if you've read it or heard about it.
No.
But basically that book talks about how like you can imagine something, you can really want it, and then it will happen without you trying. And it has just like testimonials about people being like, oh, like I drew this feather, like I hand drew it, and I really, really wanted it. I forgot about it. And then a few years, like I saw it in front of my doorstep, and I didn't try to get that feather.
Wow. What?
And when I first read that book, I was like, wow, so I can just like imagine whatever I want really, really hard, and then it'll happen in reality. But that's not the case because, and I don't think that's what the book was talking about. I think the book was more talking about that, like, if you really want something, you're probably going to try to look for it.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to try to do what you can best to get that.
Yeah.
So even if it's subconsciously, right? Like if you're really looking for that feather, you're probably going to be really interested in birds. So you're going to research a bunch of birds, go into the forest and stuff like that. So it's not that you're not trying, it's that you don't feel like you're working because you love it so much.
I see.
Yeah. I think that's the difference between like quote unquote work and like quote unquote not working.
Yeah, I get it. I completely understand. It's like if you're doing the purposeful work too, you don't sometimes feel like it's a work.
Exactly.
That's why there are a lot of people who are overworking, or there's a term for it, workaholic, right? but because you're doing something that you're so passionate about, you don't mind the hard work.
Exactly.
Love it. Then what is your gifted talent and how are you using it?
I think my gifted talent is definitely playing piano. And that was just out of luck that I found that. And I mean, I guess it is kind of luck, but also I had been doing a lot of extracurricular activities. I just never liked any of them. I did tennis for about 8 years. I did ballet for like 12 years of my life. And I just never liked any of them as much as I liked piano. And the reason I liked piano, again, was because a lot of people came up to me after my performance saying, like they were really moved. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. So I think I think, I'm not sure. I don't want to sound too, like, I don't mean to sound annoying.
It is not annoying at all, and just spell it out. I want to hear it.
But I do think that my performance of piano for kids is such a experience for them because they know that I'm listening to them. So because I'm listening to them, even if they don't speak any language per se, like if they don't speak Japanese or English or Spanish or whatever they're speaking at home, they know that if I sing a song and I'm bouncing to the rhythm and they do it back and I say like, good job, they know that. So they see that and they feel like, oh, she understands what I'm saying. So I think my talent is just having a conversation through music, which I had been able to do from when I was younger. I just never really realized until now.
Wow, beautiful. And definitely playing piano is something that's not everybody can do. Like I can't even read notes. So
No, music is hard.
it is. All right. So then I want to know about your personal development. So do you do any personal development? I believe personal development is very essential. Yeah. It's an essential key to our success. But what do you do to grow yourself?
Yeah, for me personally, I just sit down. I think back on the day every single day, and I just say, what did I do? What can I do better? And I think about the future a lot every night because I think if I think about the future, every day is different for me. Like yesterday's future me is different from today's future me. And I think that's so interesting because not much of me per se has changed. But for some reason, my future me is so drastically different that if I understand why my future me is different, then my present me can be a little more connected, I think. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I mean, it makes sense why you do things like this, right?
Thank you.
Okay, and this is the last question for you. what does it mean to you to live a bold life?
For me, living a bold life is just being fearless of just not having to worry about what anyone else thinks. So, for example, I do a lot of things in my business that I'm just like, I don't know if it'll work, but I'm not scared of trying it because if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And no one's gonna judge if it doesn't work.
Well, the only person who may judge is yourself, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the end, it's always yourself.
Yeah. Oof, I love it. Well, thank you so much for everything. And if you could, I know I asked you like additional question about the age and what are the advice that you can give, but the listeners of this podcast are someone who are listening and really looking for some hints and advice so that they can live a bold life and they can live, like you said, fearlessly and elevate their career or business. So is there anything that you want to leave at the end?
Yeah, for sure. For me, the best advice is to just believe in yourself because no one else in the world can do anything better than you if you believe in it.
Yes. Thank you so much. And tell us, how we can connect. And you have talked about your Echo Kids.
Yeah. So you can reach me at echokidsmusic.com. So that's our website. So you can just send me an email or you can find us on socials, which I also run. So it's at echokids.music. Or yeah, those two are the best. I mean, again, it has become my personal life. So
and if people are interested in, can someone just take your lesson online as well?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we've been doing private online lessons for people not in Boston, as well as group lessons for groups of communities that aren't in Boston.
Okay, perfect. Because people are listening all around the world. So, and then before I let you go, though, I kind of wanted to mention about Be Leap as well because I was connected because of Hinako, and I think she is also part of this group as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this group and where we can find and all that stuff.
Yeah, so Be Leap is a nonprofit organization based in Boston as well, where we connect Japanese-speaking women and male, actually, that live outside of Japan. So we focus on their professionalism. So we do a bunch of webinars where we bring in like lawyers regarding different aspects. We bring in, for example, myself. So I give lessons. There's also translators and things like that. Basically advancing your professional skills. And you can find us at b-leap.com or you can email us at info@b-leap.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for everything. And if Hinako is listening, thank you so much for connecting with Shizuno. She's amazing. Yeah. So thank you. And I hope you're going to have a wonderful day and stay home and stay safe.
Thank you so much for having me, Emiko-san.
Thank you. There you have it. I hope you had enjoyed my conversation with Shizuno. どうでしたか？私がすごく印象に残った会話なんですけども、まず一つ目が彼女はこの日本で生まれたけれどもアメリカで育っているのでやっぱこの日本とアメリカの、cultural identity みたいのでミュージックがなんか third language のようだったっていうことをお話ししたのがすごい印象的だったこととあと、彼女が言ってたこれって結構皆さんも経験すると思うんですけどもやっぱ practice right 音楽とかミュージックとかピアノとかのねコンサートと習い事やってた人とかはもちろんすごい彼女にリレートするとかあると思うんですけどもやっぱり練習することでこう自信がつくっていうかNo, I take that back. I should say練習を重ねることによって you can tell yourself that, I have practiced enough and you're able to perform in front of people. で、私も実際に小学生の時にマーチングバンドをやっててで やっぱもう毎日練習するんですよね。だからもう体の一部になるので緊張することって全くなかったんですね。でもその後にバレエを始めて、やっぱりバレエとかですっごい緊張して、だんだん年を取るにつれて、やっぱすっごい緊張もするんですよね。こうなんか周りの目とか間違っちゃったらどうしようとか。で、その時に言ってくれたアドバイスですごい安心したのが、私のそのソロの時が一番緊張したんですよね。なんでかっていうと、なんか振りをね忘れちゃったらどうしようっていうのがすっごい怖くて、で不安だったんですけど、一人のお友達がソロだから別に間違ったって忘れちゃったらなんか別のことただ単にパドブレとかやって思い出すの待てばいいじゃんみたいな風に言ってくれたのがすっごい実は結構安心したんですよね。で結局今でも覚えてるんですけども、結局そのソロで振りを忘れてしまって、でパドブレ、バレエやってない人はパドブレって何と思うかもしれないんですけど、ある一部の動きをして、でとりあえずその振りを思い出すのを待って、それでやっと思い出してまた普段のルーティンに戻ることができたんですけども、やっぱり誰でもね失敗したらどうしようっていうその不安って大きいと思うんですけども、でもやっぱ practice the hard work is a practicing, right? でもやっぱその practice することって本当に大切だなっていうふうにすごく思いました。そして最後に彼女とお話しした年 age, right? Sometimes it's age is a very interesting thing. People think that, oh, I am too young to do this. Or it's the opposite. Oh, I'm too old to do this too. So it's interesting. There's never be this perfect age. So younger people think that they're too young, and then older people, we think that we're too old or whatnot. So there is no magic number, guys. So it doesn't matter. The excuse of age is just an excuse. So we gotta move forward, right? Get over it, because if you're young, there's this advantage and disadvantage, and then if you're older, and there's gonna be a disadvantage and advantage. So there are a lot of things going on. So age is just a number. So we gotta tell ourselves, like, let's just do it. Doing will give you something, like new learning, give you confidence and all those great learning opportunities. So it's all good. All right, that's all for today, and thank you so much for listening to this episode. Remember, I have this 3 days workshop coming up. It's the Work-Life Revolution workshop, and it's gonna help you to really find out what you really want to do, especially if you are thinking about doing something for like the side hustle, the second side business. Then this is gonna help you a lot for you guys. Okay, that is all for today. Ladies, no more excuses. Stop settling and stop limiting yourself. It is time for you to fight against your fear and elevate your work life. リスクを恐れずに勇敢にチャレンジし続ける強い気持ちを持つ働く女性。Yes, you can be one too. You are already enough. You got this. Let's go.